So, what do you do if you're afraid of change? Coming up next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. So, I am in love with our new mug. It's my hand, actually, from the old Vengeance album. And we put it here on a new mug with an old song, I Will Cling to the Old Rugged Cross. And this is absolutely my favorite mug. Isn't that awesome? And I invite you to get one. You can get that, and of course the coffee that goes in it. Headbangers Brew, our coffee. Proceeds from all of our stuff in our store go to help with feeding the homeless. Right here, wearemetalwearefamily.com. Dear Pastor Bob, what do you do when you're afraid of change? I know I'm in a rut, but I'm afraid of what it takes to change. And you are not alone. I think most of us are afraid of change. We dream about it, we envision it, we scheme for it, we plan for it, and we don't do it. Are you one of those? There's a line from the Frozen 2 movie, which I like. I know. But it's a great movie. And the line says, be prepared. Just when you think you found your way, life will throw you onto a new path. Life will throw you onto a new path, and God will throw you onto a new path. And I can't tell you how many times my paths have been changing. And I'm about to change it up a lot again. I'll talk more about that as we go. But change. And it's a good thing. But it's a difficult thing. We get comfortable with where we are and we don't want to move forward. Excuse me. And we've been talking this month about rippling. Lord, I want to ripple. And of course, it's about revival. And revival starts with us. And when we begin to ripple, the effects begin to affect other people too. And that's what revival is all about. It starts with us, but many times it starts with change. I am not in a place that I need to be for God to use me, or I need to change and go to the next step so he can use me more. So here's some scripture that I want to go to, and it's found in John chapter 5, and starting with verse 1, it says, later on there was a Jewish festival, a feast, for which Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there in Jerusalem was a pool near the sheep gate. Sheep came in and out. This pool in the Hebrew is called Bethesda. Bethesda. I always get that wrong. And when I was narrating the Bible, which I did, it's on Amazon, I remember I struggled with that word as well. Bethesda. I don't know why. So the pool in the Hebrew is called Bethesda, having 5 porches or alcoves or colonnades or doorways. And in these lay a great number of sick people all around. Some of them were blind, some were crippled, some paralyzed, shriveled up, waiting for the bubbling up of the water. For an angel of the Lord went down at appointed seasons into the pool and moved and stirred the water, and whoever then first, after the stirring of the water, stepped in, was cured of whatever disease with which he was afflicted. Pretty cool. Well, there was a certain man there who had suffered with a deep-seated and lingering disorder for 38 years. When Jesus noticed him laying there helpless, knowing that he had already been a long time in that condition, he said to him, "Do you want to become well? Are you really in earnest about getting well?" And you think, what a silly question. Of course he is, really. Because you see, that involves change. And change doesn't always come easy. And we dream about it, and I'm sure 38 years is such a long time. And he's gotten used to his affliction. Does he really want to get well? Or does he want to continue to linger in something that he knows and is comfortable with to some degree? Do you really want to get well? The invalid answered, "Sir, I have nobody when the water is moving to put me into the pool. But while I'm trying to come into it myself, somebody else always steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your bed, your sleeping pad, and walk." And instantly the man became well and recovered his strength, excuse me, and picked up his bed and walked. So he came with a need and he walked away with his bed, and he's changed. Now, the Bible doesn't talk about what happened to him afterwards, but I can only imagine. Where would he live? What would he do? Those people that had taken care of him, fed him, basically, what did they do? What kind of work did he do? How difficult was it him to transition after 38 years to be able to walk and to have kind of a new life? Now, that's exciting. I'm sure he was more than excited, and I'm sure he was running and jumping and praising the Lord, but it's still a change. And I'm sure there were aspects of the change that were very uncomfortable. You say, well, Pastor Bob, he's walking. That's huge. Yes, it is. But it's an adjustment. And you know, the same thing is true for all of us. We look at life ahead and we say, this is what I'd like to do. This is the change that I'd like to see. This is the change that I'd like to go for. And then we continue to lay there. Well, I have no one to help me. It's just not secure. I don't feel great about it. On and on and on. And just like this guy, and you may have had those thoughts in your head for 38 years. But just like this guy, we're afraid of change. We're afraid of moving forward. And I am one of those. I love change. I love to dream big. I love to start new projects. But that first step is always difficult. And there are times like this time in my life, I'm in that season where God is getting my attention. And first of all, I had to kind of change my heart on some things that I didn't necessarily want to do, and I have a heart for it now. But, it's the change doesn't always come easy. And yet Jesus might be saying to you and to me, get up, pick up your bed, and walk. Move. Well, the future is not always secure, no matter whether you stay in the spot you're in or you change. The only thing that is secure for us at this point is eternity with Jesus. Everything else fluctuates, and it always will while you're here on earth. But if God is moving you to change, what's keeping you back? Well, don't forget, part of that is you are blessed. He's given you everything you need to move forward. You are blessed. So go and be a blessing.